Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Andrew with All Things Fantasy, and today I'm bringing you episode 2 of my draft guide series, and today we're going to be talking about running backs. So before we get into this video, look at this list differently than the QB list. This list is gonna be just the top 20 running backs, and like compared to the QB list where it was top 15 and not all those guys are going to get drafted, where this list is top 20 running backs and all these guys are going to be drafted in your leagues. So, you kind of want to approach the different list with a different mindset. So just keep that in mind. All right, so top 20 running backs in 2016, like I said. Here's my top 5. And these 5 guys are guys that are first round guys in your drafts. You know, um, depending on how big your league is. But if you're anywhere from if you're at least a 10 team league, definitely these 5 guys are definitely first rounders in my opinion. So for number 1, we got Le'Veon Bell. Definitely, one of the best, if not the best, running back in the NFL right now. Obviously, he was injured a lot last season, didn't play much, but from what he's done in past years, we know what he's capable of, and I think he's gonna come back and have a great season. Um, 2, David Johnson, definitely came into his own last season. Just kind of started, you know, yeah, just kind of started lighting it up last year at the end of the season and just destroying fantasy. And I'd look for this guy to continue what he's done and have another great year. Yeah, and David, to me, these two are like pretty much neck and neck, and you know I think you're going to see a lot of drafts for guys are taking these you know are taking both these guys really early. Um, as far as like number 1 overall, I don't know. A lot of people are saying Antonio Brown is, but hey, I like Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson. You know, definitely like some of your top guys to be looking at. 3, Todd Gurley. Yeah, Todd Gurley again. Great rookie season last year. Really started like when he came back from injury. He really started to really produce and he put up some great numbers. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does this season. But if he does what he does, if he keeps up what he did last season, he's definitely going to be one of the top running backs in fantasy and the guy you want on your team. So definitely, I'm looking to draft him, in the first round if I get the chance. Devontae Freeman again, another guy who took advantage, of an opportunity given to him last year and just exploded in fantasy. Was putting up huge monster games, and 30-point games. Like it was just nuts. Like how much points he put up some weeks. I really don't think anything's going to change there. Like, obviously, there's some question marks, but I think he's still going to be getting all those touches, and I definitely think Devontae Freeman's up there. I will show you ESPN's list after this. ESPN had him ranked quite a bit lower than in the top 5. I think definitely they had him like outside the top 5, and I just didn't really agree with that. Yeah, ESPN had some interesting rankings for running backs, and I'll show you guys at the end of the video. But yeah, something like I felt like there was a lot of changes that need to be made, and so that's why I make these lists. So number 5, Adrian Peterson. Again, AP's has been solid. Last year he was really solid. Obviously obviously he's getting a little older, but I think he's gonna continue to produce, AP like numbers. Yeah, it's pretty much where ESPN had him ranked, and again, just a veteran guy. He knows what he's doing out there. 6, Jamal Charles. Yes, another one of those guys who got injured last year, and he's coming back this year, and it'll be interesting to see what he does. ESPN had him ranked higher than this. I moved him down a little bit because coming off an injury, that can be tough, just mentally on like, you know, on guys. And I wasn't really sure how that was gonna affect him. So I moved him down a little bit. Still top six is not bad. It's definitely like, late first round potential, and definitely like early second round potential depending on your leagues. Definitely like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was averaged a first round pick. He's definitely capable of that. Um, and there's debate. You can debate that he's five and Peterson's six. Like they can definitely. Um, but again, the whole injury thing that's kind of like maybe move him down a little bit. Um, Seven, Lamar Miller. Obviously, with the move to Houston, I'm really excited to see what he does in this new system. He was a guy that ESPN ranked had outside the top 10, and or had him at 10, and I moved him up. Um, I moved him up in my top 10 because he had a really good season last year, I thought, and in with Houston, like I think Houston's gonna be a really good team, and I expect him to have a good running game. Eight, Mark Ingram. Yeah, again, Mark Ingram. Um, again, last season like it wasn't anything crazy, but with all the injuries, he ended up having like a decent season for running backs. Um, Obviously, a lot of people have. A lot of people kind of stay away from Sean Payton running backs. Because people, because his coaching decisions and everything. But yeah, Mark Ingram, he's definitely a second round guy for me, not a first round guy. Definitely a second round guy in my mind. And then okay, nine. This is the pick. This is the pick that I want to talk about a lot. Nine, Ezekiel Elliott. ESPN had him ranked in their top five, and I just could not rationalize that. He's a rookie. He hasn't played a down in the NFL yet, and you're putting him in the top five. Like you know, like he could easily just go out there and just you know get shut down and not do anything, and have an awful rookie season. Like not to like say Melvin Gordon had an awful rookie season last year, but it definitely wasn't like what Todd Gurley did or anything like that. He definitely didn't have a great rookie season, and that could happen to Elliott. I just did not. I just couldn't believe they had him ranked so high for only off of college numbers, and especially because I mean I don't want to get into college football right now, but some of the teams he played in college weren't very too good. Um, but obviously I want to take the NFL right now. But yeah, I just couldn't believe that. So I moved him down a little bit, and and people can make the argument that he's either way lower on this list than he could be even way lower on this list than what I have him at. But I put him at 9. You know, and I don't know. I was kind of just looking at how much Dallas tried to run the ball. They just they didn't have much success. They just couldn't find their guy, and I do like Elliott though. I think he could be their guy, but he's definitely not a top 5 running back out of the gate. Definitely a second round guy in the draft, maybe even third round, but second round guy, yeah. 10, Doug Martin. I love Doug Martin. You know, a workhorse last year, and I don't think anything's going to change this year. The Bucks got a young team, and I really like this guy. He had some really big weeks last year, and I expect that to happen again. He's not the guy who's gonna explode every week, but he's the guy that'll be consistent and then have good weeks. And he's definitely I definitely like him in the second round for sure. Um, 11 through 15. So 11, we got LaShawn McCoy. Um, yeah. LaShawn McCoy. Obviously, he was injured a little bit last year. People were questioning you know whether he's just not the same guy anymore and everything. And he did struggle last season a little bit, and I I personally like him, but as far as fantasy goes, there's definitely a lot of guys better than him, and maybe LaShawn McCoy could be a guy that slips to the third round, and that's okay. To me, he's not like running back. He's not like our number one running back right now. Like, if I want my two starting running backs. He's definitely like a running back two kind of player now, in my opinion. He's just. I think there could be some guys on this list lower than him. I guess I'm just kind of putting him at 11 just because I have hope that it's a new season. Maybe he'll come out and be the old LaShawn McCoy, but obviously, who knows? 12, Thomas Rawls. Obviously, Marshawn Lynch retired, and Thomas Rawls is now the Seahawks guy. I think he stepped up, to the plate last year, and he did pretty well. It'll be interesting to see what he does this year. I have high expectations for him. The Seahawks really kind of started to really, find their stride at the end of the season last year, and I talked a little about that with Russell Wilson last video, and I definitely think the more and more they get Rawls involved in the running game, the better and better the Seahawks will be. 13, Matt Forte obviously got traded from my team, the Bears, to the Jets, and I think that's a good move for him. I think the Jets are gonna be better, obviously, with him, and I really like him. He was pretty solid last year, up until he got injured. But yeah, I definitely think he'll do well with the Jets, and put up Matt Forte type numbers, right? Just that consistent guy. Definitely, definitely could go. I mean, round two, maybe round two, definitely round three for sure. C.J. Anderson, yes, C.J. Anderson, Broncos definitely started doing really well last year. Obviously the Broncos have a lot of question marks right now. And this is why one reason maybe I put him a little lower than I did. I think ESPN had him. I had him at pretty much the same spot. But yeah, obviously the Broncos, with Paxton Lynch coming in, people don't know how good he's gonna be, and it could be a bust in the NFL, and that affects your whole team, not only your receivers, but it affects your running game, and because if you don't have that threat, if you don't have that passing threat, then people are going to focus on your running game, and that could shut Anderson down. So, I kind of put him here. Definitely probably a third round guy, running back two in my book. And then Dion Lewis. I love Lewis. I think Lewis, he got hurt last year, but I think that the Patriots really love this guy and are going to use him effectively. And I think he's definitely really underrated. I'd be willing to maybe get him, steal him in the late second round if I could. Maybe even late. Definitely get him in the third round. I definitely think he's gonna have a good season. I really like this guy. I definitely think he has potential to be a good pass catcher, and they can really do a lot of things with him. 16, Jeremy Langford on the Bears. Definitely just kind of stepped up last year when he was got the starter position. Yeah, I definitely expect him to continue what he was doing. I'm personally rooting for him because he's in the Bears. But yeah, I definitely think he's not he's definitely a third round guy. He's not worth going out and getting. Definitely a third round guy, and I guess we're starting to get to maybe even fourth round guys here, but definitely third round guy. Eddie Lacy. This was a guy. Actually, Jamie Langford was a guy ESPN had him ranked outside their top 20, and I thought, he was just as good as some of these guys on this list, and even on the last list, I definitely thought he was, just as good as a C.J. Anderson. So I put him at 16. I felt pretty good about that. And then 17, Eddie Lacy. Obviously, there was a big question mark about, is Eddie Lacy just falling off the last season? His production just, went absolutely away. Obviously he was hurt, and came back, but apparently, like from what I've seen, he lost a lot of weight this offseason, got in great shape, and to me, that means he's really committed to playing well, to to doing good this season, and I like that. And when you see the offseason stuff, that to me, you really got to factor that in um, to your projections and what you expect guys to do. And I expect him to definitely come back and have another great season, like he did a couple years ago. But definitely like a third round guy. Um, I think I said great season, but I meant great season, but like, pretty, good average season, like he capable of. DeMarco Murray, yes, DeMarco Murray, traded to the Titans, I believe. Hopefully, I got that right. Yes, Titans. It'll be interesting to see what he does there. Um, definitely very interesting to see what he does in Tennessee. Personally, a fan of DeMarco Murray. But yeah, I guess DeMarco Murray could be like a third round guy, or maybe even a second round guy, like late second round guy. But because he's in a new system, I kind of put him as a third round guy. And I think yeah, ESPN definitely did not give him. Yeah, they had him outside. They had him outside their top 20. I felt like he was good enough to be in the top 20, so I put him here. And obviously like a new system, but I think he's gonna have a good enough season to kind of compete with Lacey and Langford, kind of these guys. All right, and I'm 19. This is my big sleeper, who ESPN didn't give much credit to, but a lot of guys like him that I've been seeing, and I think he's really kind of a sleeper who I'm looking to get steal in the third round, and cause I think he has so much potential to really be a maybe even a top 10 running back this season if he performs well. He's Lamar Mills out in Miami, and he's the guy for the Dolphins, and I think he has so much potential to really do great things this season and become a really one of the top 10 running backs in the NFL. And you saw the top 10. There's some really good running backs on that list. So, I definitely look out for this guy. I definitely think he's worth, maybe he's kind of one of those guys who, maybe not even third round. Maybe you can steal him fourth round, if people aren't looking at him. I'm definitely going to try to, and I'll show you that in my mock drafts. Maybe he'll be one of those guys who I'm trying to steal late, in later rounds. And, we'll see where we get him at, That's what I want to do with mock drafts. But anyways, definitely look out for him, Jay Ajayi. Yeah. 20, Jeremy Hill. Okay, my 20 spot was like really up for grabs. There was like three guys who I was like, I could put on my 20. Like I didn't, and I just like couldn't decide. And I'll show you that right in a second. But I went with Jeremy Hill. He obviously was splitting carries last year with Giovanni Bernard, but I mean, Cincinnati had a pretty good, effective run game with that two-man game. But that's what hurts for fantasy owners because he's not getting all the touches, he's not getting all the points. Sometimes sometimes Jeremy or Giovanni Bernard would score a touchdown, sometimes Jeremy Hill would score the touchdown. And they were splitting points, and that just hurts as a fantasy owner. You want the guy who gets all the points. Yeah, but there was a couple other guys that were on here that I'll show you right now as I end this slideshow and go into my list. So yeah, a couple of guys I didn't mention on here were Carlos Hyde. I just personally not a big fan of Carlos Hyde. I just don't really like him, and he didn't really have a great season. Like we can look at that season last year. Obviously he was hurt at the end of the season, but first game, great first game, but then look at the rest of the season, 5, 6, these are awful numbers as a running back, These are bad numbers right here. Same here. Obviously, another good game against the Giants, That's not what you're looking for. That's not a top 15 running back numbers. I just definitely just didn't. I put him. To me, he's outside the top 20. But yeah, Jonathan Stewart. He could have been my 20 spot. I was going with Jeremy Hill. I don't know. Obviously he had some really good games last season, but I just wasn't confident enough to put him there. But he's definitely like a third round guy. I think I thought he could be a third round guy. And then I named all those. But yeah, Ryan Matthews was there 20, and obviously he didn't have a great season last year, but it's because he wasn't a starter. And this year with Murray gone, yeah, I don't know. I looked at him pretty low. But yeah, Murray gone, so now he's in as a starter. And look, they had him ranked above the DeMarco Murray. I just didn't get that. Same with like Ajayi and DeMarco and Jay. Like all these guys to me were great. Top 20 running backs. And but yeah, then what? Yeah, so Stewart was one, Hill and Latavius Murray were like the three guys who I was just really debating putting at the 20 spot. And obviously Latavius Murray had a pretty decent season last year. And I think he's gonna get better. I definitely think he's gonna get better with the Raiders. I like they have pretty young core guys, and I think the Raiders are really starting to turn things around. So yeah, this video's been going on for a while, so I'm gonna end it right here. That has been episode 2, Draft to the Draft Head series, running backs. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.